Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Janina Nilla, and today I want to talk about something that I had posted on Instagram today. I wrote that satisfy your soul and not society. So today I want to talk about your soul. I don't want to take your soul away from you or nothing. I'm not doing any kind of witchcraft. What I want to talk about is your soul. So, bloom where you're planted is the main thing that I wanted to talk about today. And, we are really, really hard on ourselves, especially during these times, about our achievements or how far we've gotten or whatever the case is. But today I want to talk about bloom where you planted, and it's an example of me and my cooking journey. So I have been one of those people that did not grow up cooking. I am an only child, so my parents were the ones that were cooking. And you know what? When I got married, definitely my husband was like, "You don't cook?" Like, I don't understand. I eat like 10, 20 times a day. What are you going to do with me? But that actually turned out to be an advantage, my husband's food disorder. The first thing myth that I want to debunk about cooks, right, is that every cook knows every recipe. So, like when you're not grown up cooking in the kitchen or whatever, it's kind of really like intimidating. Like you don't know what to do. Like if you put the stove on, you think like the house is gonna go on fire, like, and then you're being ridiculed, like, how do you not know how to cook, right? And society expects as a woman that you should be putting the food on the table, you should be the one serving the tea. And especially for South Asian cultures, it's really difficult. So I come from Sri Lankan background, right? And I did not grow up like cooking. My main thing was my parents were like, you need to study, and you need to achieve, right? And because of that, I have an enormous amount of ambition and drive. Because of that, I've gone into project management, and I have a good education. But what I want to talk about is bloom where you're planted, as in, the first myth is not every cook knows every recipe, right? This can relate to any type of industry or anything that you're going through right now. Nobody's an expert. Not everyone knows everything. So, like, you can go into an interview and not know anything. You can bomb the whole interview for a job, but you could be the candidate that could be able to do everything. It's all in your heart and your ambition and your drive. I just want to tell you that, because if you don't know how to cook, it's not the end of the world. You can learn, and not everyone knows everything. And even the people ridiculing you do not know everything. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about is based upon tradition bias, right? When it comes to cooking, some people, when it's their own traditional cooking, like let's say you're Ethiopian, Sri Lankan, Pakistani, whatever the case is, Afghani, Chinese, I'm not discriminating here. They tend to think like, oh, like for example, like I'm Sri Lankan, I'm Tamil, and I know how to make Tamil food, so I know how to cook, but I don't know how to cook anything else, right? Like I don't cook any other type of culture food. So based on that, like that doesn't make any sense, because like what if you are able to cook like Italian food, Chinese food, Japanese food, Jamaican food, but you're just not able to cook your own culture of food, right? So what I wanted to tell you, bloom where you're planted. So like it's one day at a time. A lot of people that actually are great cooks, and even chefs that have gone into an education to cook, they have been cooking for like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, taking care of an entire family, being under pressure to put food on the table. So they naturally learn how to cook, right? But that's not the case for everyone, and doesn't mean that that you're a bad person or you just would never learn. It's a learned skill. Cooking is a learned skill. I'm going to repeat this. If there's any little kids that are watching this, do not be hard on yourself if you don't know how to do it right now. You're still a great person. Trust me, it's not the end of the world, but you can learn. When I married my husband, I only knew how to cook like Chinese noodles. I don't even want to say pasta, because like like pasta has to be al dente. So like let's say boiled Chinese noodles and scrambled eggs. And then we were married, we got our own place, and he was like, "Okay, I'm hungry." And I was like, I'm hungry. and someone had to cook. He does know how to cook, but then the best thing for me was that he told me, okay, you know what? Just throw yourself in there and do what you can and do what you want and experiment. And that's the thing that I wanted to tell you was bloom where you're planted, right? No one is an expert, and you can own the skill. So you can develop, and you can, this goes for any field. Anything that you go into, no one is an expert, and everyone is continually growing and developing, right? So the third myth that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about is when you eat something outside and you eat, like, let's say at a 5-star restaurant, and the food is amazing. Let's say you go downtown Toronto, like I'm from Toronto, so like there's so many different types of food. The diversity is insane. If you go and you're eating at a 5-star like a restaurant downtown, like let's say on like King Street or whatever, doesn't mean that you cannot make that food. So again, it comes back to experimenting. It goes down to like the flavor, the amount of time that's cooked, the meat, let's say for example, that all comes through knowledge and experimentation. So, you know, some of these chefs go into formal education and they're learning how to cook, but sometimes some people are learning through experience. And that's what I have found for me that has worked. Okay guys, so enough with the talking. I'm gonna get to cooking now. Just gonna go to my kitchen. I'll do a room tour another day. So this is my kitchen here. Chicken has like Sri Lankan like Jaffna curry powder because my husband loves that. I put a little bit fennel seed initially with oil and some onions and everything, marinated with the Jaffna powder and some turmeric. There's some tomatoes in there, potatoes, carrots, curry leaves, all that good stuff. So rice I had already made separately. Chicken curry is now done. Done soon, and the potato curries is almost done. Well, that's basically done with the peas and everything. So thank you for watching, guys.